Do you want to hear something scary? Here it goes. The year is 1448. The place, a small village in the heart of Wallachia, a region in what is today Romania. It's nighttime and you are returning home from a long day of work. Suddenly, you hear screams in the forest. Panicked, you rush home and lock your doors. But your relief is short-lived. Moments later, heavy footsteps approach your house. You peer through a window and see a ghastly sight before you. A tall, gaunt figure clad in black approaches your door, his face pale and gaunt, his eyes burning red in the darkness. With a guttural snarl, he begins ripping apart your roof. Terrified, you hide, hoping he won't find you. But when he does something that turns your fear into ice-cold terror. He sucks your blood. Welcome to the world of vampires, where the line between myth and reality blurs, and the darkness holds more secrets than we can imagine. Now, did you know that the legend of vampires might be rooted in a much darker reality? Today, we are diving deep into the chronicles of history to uncover the chilling tale of a medieval monarch so cruel he earned the moniker Vlad the Impaler. And we'll also explore whether his reputation had any connection to the infamous blood-sucking creatures of the night. You don't want to miss this. Stick around for more. If you're new here, consider subscribing so you never miss out on our intriguing historical tales. Now, let's dive into the darkness. The tale of Dracula has echoed across centuries, weaving itself into the very fabric of our culture. But before Stoker immortalized it in literature, this tale existed as a shadow in history, a glimpse of which can be found in the life of Vlad the Impaler, the Prince of Wallachia. Let's start at the beginning. Born in the year 1431 in the fortress town of Sighisoara, Transylvania, Vlad the Impaler's birth name was Vlad Tepes. He was the son of Vlad Dracula, a member of the Order of the Dragon, a chivalric order founded in 1408 by Polish King Vytautas the Great. The order aimed to unite Christian rulers against the encroaching Ottoman Empire. The name Dracula didn't signify anything sinister. It simply meant son of the dragon. However, Vlad's early life was far from a fairy tale. When he was just 13, he and his younger brother Radu were taken hostage by the Ottoman Sultan Murad II during a campaign in Wallachia. For 4 years, they lived within the walls of the Ottoman court, enduring a culture vastly different from their own. While Radu embraced his captor's customs, even converting to Islam and taking the name Mehmed, Vlad remained steadfast in his Christian faith. This early exposure to Ottoman culture would later influence Vlad's rule over Wallachia. He incorporated some aspects of Ottoman administration, much to the chagrin of his nobles, who preferred the traditional ways of medieval Europe. Upon returning to Wallachia, Vlad embarked on a mission to reclaim his rightful throne, which had been taken by his uncle, a move backed by the Ottomans. The journey was fraught with peril, but Vlad persevered, eventually seizing power and reuniting with his brother, Radu. In the following years, Vlad faced numerous threats, both from external forces and internal rivals. His solution to these challenges was swift and decisive. Enter the infamous impalement. Now, the image of the impaled victim slowly dying while exposed to the elements might seem like a gruesome detail from a horror movie. But in Vlad's medieval world, it was a common form of capital punishment. In fact, Vlad was known for his use of public executions, a tactic aimed at striking fear into the hearts of his subjects and potential enemies. It was a stark reminder to all who saw it of the consequences of disloyalty or rebellion. His victims, often left on display for days or weeks, became chilling symbols of his power. However, this brutal method of execution wasn't just about instilling fear. It was also a practical way of dealing with large groups of prisoners. According to historians, Vlad ordered thousands of his enemies to be impaled, including boyars, merchants, and even peasants. The sheer number of victims, some sources claim as many as 100,000, points to a deliberate strategy to reshape Wallachia in his image. Despite the grim reality of impalement, Vlad's reign wasn't solely marked by violence and tyranny. He undertook significant administrative reforms, reorganized the army, and actively worked to improve the lives of his people. He established a system of weights and measures, reformed the tax system, and even minted his own coins. Under his rule, Wallachia enjoyed a period of stability and economic growth after years of chaos and decline. Yet Vlad's efforts to reform and rebuild were often overshadowed by his more brutal actions. His reputation as a merciless ruler only grew, leading to the spread of lurid tales about his behavior. One such tale tells of an incident where Vlad hosted a banquet inviting foreign ambassadors. During the feast, he allegedly dipped bread into a goblet of blood instead of wine, shocking his guests. Another story depicts him in a macabre light, supposedly dipping bread in the blood of a slain enemy, perhaps to mock the traditional practice of kissing the hand of a superior. These accounts, though likely exaggerated by his enemies, contribute to the image of Vlad as a diabolical ruler. But how did this reputation lead to the association with vampires? Well, to understand that part of the story, we need to look beyond Vlad's realm. In the 15th century, Eastern Europe was rife with superstitions and folklore. One such belief centered around the idea of blood drinking, a practice associated with pagan rituals and seen as a taboo act in Christian society. When a corpse was exhumed and showed signs of blood around the mouth, it was believed that the deceased had risen from the grave, consumed the blood of family members, and returned to the grave, causing their complexion to appear pale. This gruesome belief led to a horrifying custom. Family members were compelled to rip open the deceased person's chest and even drink some of their blood to ward off any malevolent spirits. Vlad, with his penchant for gruesome displays of power, inadvertently contributed to the vampire narrative. His infamous habit of hosting feasts and inviting foreign diplomats, some of whom were known to indulge in blood-drinking rituals, only fueled the flames of suspicion. These gatherings, already considered extravagant and bizarre by contemporary standards, seemed even more sinister when viewed through the lens of blood-related rumors. Vlad's love for hunting and his practice of storing blood from slain animals further cemented his connection to the burgeoning vampire lore. In a region steeped in tales of blood-sucking demons, Vlad Tepes, the Impaler, became a focal point for these chilling narratives. However, the real Vlad was far more complex than the image his enemies sought to paint of him. He was a ruler who, despite his brutality, genuinely cared for his people. He introduced progressive reforms, including the establishment of legal courts, the codification of laws, and the introduction of accounting rules. He also actively engaged in cultural pursuits, commissioning the construction of churches and promoting art and architecture. Vlad's efforts to stabilize and enrich Wallachia were significant. He successfully defended his territory against external threats, including an invasion by the Kingdom of Hungary, and he expanded trade with various European nations, including England and France. Yet history remembers him primarily for his ruthlessness, exemplified by his signature method of execution, impalement. But why was he so brutal? Perhaps it was a product of his upbringing, having witnessed firsthand the horrors of imprisonment and the complexities of the Ottoman court. Or maybe it was a deliberate choice to maintain control in a volatile region where power meant everything. Whatever the reason, Vlad's legacy was tarnished by the label of the Impaler. As for his connection to Dracula, well, it came from his family's coat of arms, which featured a black silhouette of a humanoid figure holding a shield. Over time, this emblem became distorted in the minds of superstitious peasants, evolving into a terrifying image of a blood-sucking monster. The name Dracula initially signifying lineage, transformed into a symbol of evil and bloodlust. Though Vlad's brutal reign lasted from 1448 to 1476, his impact on Wallachia was profound and enduring. He laid the groundwork for the country's future development, and his memory, though stained by controversy, continues to fascinate us today. If you liked this video, check out these others from the series, where we bring history to life. Also, remember to subscribe so you never miss out on our latest adventures through time. Thanks for watching.